Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody.
Now we got too much to talk about today for all that long. You start with the news.
Say, none of that.
Hell yeah, not today. Too much news coming across the pike. My God.
Everybody come on in, hurry in the door, sit down, take your seats, buckle up. Here we go.
We going to start the show early. Y'all get your seats, get the popcorn ready and all that. Hell, we'll run a dark match real quick while we talk. But good God almighty, we're so packed today.
Yeah, so today's topic is titled Anything and Everything All at Once.
That's about how it's happening.
We got bullets, we got chairs, we got tables, we got fire, we got barbed wire, we got everything coming at you today.
Hell, we got titles, we got knee breaking, we got rocks rolling, we got we can't get it to stop right now, so we just got to talk about it.
Yeah, and typically the past two episodes, for all you guys who've been listening, if you're new, welcome in. Thank you for joining. But for everybody who's been listening, we've been doing the WrestleMania Chase as a segment. But damn, Frank, everything we're going to talk about today is the WrestleMania
Chase out of it. It was like a little snowball kind of just building and building. Now, damn, 3-4 days before the Royal Rumble, damn avalanche just fell on. It's like we're just sitting around. What was it, 7 o'clock this morning? You started messaging me like bam, 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 bam. And I'm like,
the whole world started shaking.
I'm trying to wipe cold out my eyes and read the message. I'm like, wait, what happened? And all of a sudden another message, bam. I'm like, well, damn, what happened here? Bam, what this one's doing? Bam, this guy's here. What the shit? No, just slow down. We had to record early this week just so we could get it all out now before anything else happens on them.
Yep. Let me take a pause, just a quick pause for just a quick second.
Take a breath.
Yep. AEW fans, we love you. We still rocking with you. But I'm sorry, this episode ain't about y'all.
Not this week.
Sorry.
Royal Rumble's 3 days away. Yeah, we need to pump the brakes just a little bit here. We got to get all the WWE stuff out. We got y'all next week. But yeah, I mean, hell, we don't even have no drinks today. There's so much happening.
So much.
No sponsors this week. We don't even have time to run a commercial. Damn, good Lord. All right, let's go.
All right, so obviously we are a couple of days out from the Rumble. Everybody is wondering what the hell is about to happen at this Rumble. Who is going to take away their shot at WrestleMania infamy? What is going to happen? Ooh, notice how I said the word infamy.
There you go.
Ooh, could he be a big player in this? We don't know.
Got to fit him in somewhere, so you got to fit everybody
carrying that
in.
Briefcase for a reason.
Yeah, you got to. Well, he wasn't carrying it all day on Monday. Truth was trying to put his cut in there, and he wouldn't give Truth the combination. What the hell?
Truth. If you out there listening, brother, look. If
he's listening, he's local.
If Judgment Day ain't gonna take their cut of the merchandise, invest in your local podcast.
Exactly. I mean, man, we get a lot of equipment done with that cut there. You know?
Absolutely.
We'll help move the merch on here. We got no problem with it. We sell it right out of the trunk.
All right, so Rumble. So we've had everybody and the mama declare for the Rumble on the men's and women's side. We don't know what's going to happen, but man, oh man, was there a certain promo that kind of rocked the wrestling community that happened Monday night.
Yeah, they were hitting shot for shot. They were going blow for blow on that one there. And Cody Rhodes and CM Punk.
Yeah, that one, when they first started it out, I was like, oh, ain't this nice? They talking about being friends.
Yeah. You knew that wasn't going to last with the Rumble. There are no friends in the Rumble. So.
No, especially when Punk said, I ain't here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Oh, absolutely. And so since you mentioned AEW for a second, a year and a half ago, that literally could have been happening right on an AEW ring. That could have opened a Dynamite 2 years ago.
Tony Khan, the biggest blunder of your career, sir.
You ever heard the phrase "fumble the bag"?
Yeah,
that's
big
called.
Time.
There's the epitome. Wrestling fans, you've now seen what it means to fumble the bag. Because good Lord.
Yeah, sorry, AEW would have had money with that match. I'm sorry.
Oh man, they could have printed it.
Yep.
We'd be having a conversation about them, and we'd be forgetting about the Rumble right about now had that taken place. But
the two heavy hitter lines coming out of that promo, Punk said, I'm more the American dream than you are.
Yep, he gave good examples for it too.
He had receipts to back it up.
He told him, this is my family situation. This is who I am, and this is who you are. And hell, I'm more the American dream than you. And I heard that. I said, damn.
I said, oh shit.
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I said, damn, that stung.
Yeah,
you could even see it on Cody's face. He had to look for a minute. He looked away, and he made that old Dusty Rhodes face when Dusty was about to get the big elbow and the guy wasn't in place. He had that same look on his face, like, oh, hot damn, we done blew this now. I'm in trouble.
And then Cody firing back, telling Punk he was more punk than Punk was.
Yeah, he rebounded quick, right?
Yeah, he did.
So he didn't take very long to recover and get drop that big elbow, that flip flop and fly, and then drop that big elbow. Because he told him, he said, with all that I've done since I left WWE and I went and carved my own path while you were sitting on the sidelines, I'm more CM Punk than you. And CM Punk had to walk it off after he heard that.
The only thing that would have made that better if he'd have looked at Punk and said, tell me when I'm telling lies.
If he'd have said that, they might have had to come to blows in there that day. That would have been classic, but they can't go that far. They can't give it all to you. But
I do like the animosity between them, even though there seems to be a friendship. Yeah. I do like the animosity. I do like the fact that even at the end of the promo, they weren't one conceding to another. They both stepped out the ring at the same time. And it's almost like they said, you know what? We both got kind of business that we want to handle right now. Yeah. Let's revisit this another day.
Yeah, they would. I mean, and Punk kept asking him. He said, I know what's going to happen Saturday, but what about Sunday morning? Are we still going to be friends on Sunday morning? We never actually got that answer to that. So.
No, we didn't. But I mean, there was another slight little dig in there at AEW telling him, look, I can separate business from personal.
Did you see how he got in Cody's face to ask?
Yep.
So he said that.
He was talking to the Bucks when he said that.
Maybe, but he said he could do that. He said, "Can you, Cody?" Because he said, you had to leave, for personal. But Punk also left for personal reasons too. Yeah. So I mean, neither one of them actually did the best business where they were. But I mean, that's the situation that they were in.
Just remember, the devil will tell you what he wants to hear, but he will not acknowledge what he is. Just remember that.
Well, so CM Punk said he's Satan himself, which another dig that we'll just kind of let go by the wayside. But yeah, I mean, those two guys were literally in a different company. I mean, and the rumor was, I don't even think it's a rumor, Cody did a lot of work to bring Punk in.
Yeah.
So the rumor was that they didn't get along and Cody saw him as a threat, blah, blah, blah. I think we just proved last night that wasn't true.
No, that wasn't true at all. I think if anything, Cody, he was asked about it when Punk first arrived on the scene, and Cody said, look, if he's here to play ball, let's play.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the right attitude.
Businessman, that he is, being the legacy that he is in the business, he had to see a ton of money coming out of that.
Yep.
I mean, we're just two local podcasters, as you said a minute ago, and we see millions coming out of it. They saw millions out of it. The only problem is when the guy up top don't want to see, or the guys up top, let's call them who they are, when they don't want to see everybody else doing that kind of business, when they want that kind of business for themselves. Got a little, when the inmates are running the asylum, you're going to get a little, headbutt here, headbutt there. Somebody's got to win somewhere. And I mean, sometimes guys just don't see eye to eye and somebody got to walk.
Yep.
So their loss is our gain.
Speaking of walking, somebody's having a lot of trouble walking these days.
Yeah. So
he come out there, cut a promo with a knee brace on, talk about Seth Rollins.
Did you see how fast he hustled out of that ring when Imperium and New Day started getting into it?
So even my wife, she was sitting on the couch and she was like, "Damn, y'all got to give him some time to get out the ring."
Oh yeah. Seth was high. He was hustling hard over there trying to get out the ring. That little knee was good. That little knee was holding on by a thread trying to get out of that ring.
So here we go. Topic for discussion: did they do the right thing by keeping the belt on him instead of stripping him?
Well, so at this point, I mean, they really didn't have a choice. They're so invested in that storyline with all the jumbling around they did with the belt and all that moving around they did with the Drew and the Cody and the Punk and the Rollins. They got a lot of moving pieces in there. If you take the belt off of them, one, it says two things. The first thing it says is, if you take the belt off of him because he can't compete for a couple of months, what the hell are we doing over on the other channel, right?
Right.
So we can't set that precedent. Oh, you can't defend in 30 days. Well, you can't be the champ no more. The last thing we can do is walk down that road.
Roman said 30 days?
Yeah,
What?
hell yeah. Roman would have called
What's
him and
30 days?
told him, y'all need to edit this segment right now because, hell, that 30-day thing, that's old school. That's out. So first things first, we can't go really down that path because it sets a bad precedent for the company
Right.
that we ain't going to live up to on the other channel, for one. And for two, we're so invested in Seth defending that title at this point now against whatever contender, they want to put in there. If he's able to go, you got to let him go.
Yeah, I think personally they made the right decision. My worst fear when he walked out there last night, my worst fear was, oh damn, he's going to relinquish.
He was going to
the
edge
belt.
us.
He was going to relinquish the belt.
Well, I'll tell you what my worst fear was, and I don't like bringing it up because conspiracy theories and all that, but I thought he was going to HBK us. I thought he was going to come out there and lose a smile and give up the belt and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, come out there and backflip off the top rope and basically just rub everybody's nose in it that he didn't feel like losing to Brett and he's just going to job us. I said, well, Punk and Rollins kind of got that same heart, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart animosity. Maybe, Seth knew he was going to have to drop that belt and just didn't want to do business. Yeah. And he was jobbing his way out with a fake injury. But when you see him walking out there the way he was last night and the fact that he said he's still going to compete, all that went out the window. So anybody who was thinking that might have been a thing or whatnot, go ahead and put that out of your mind now.
Yeah,
I think that match is going to happen.
They're going to wait until closer to Mania to see if he can go or not. And then if he can't go, they'll pivot. But I think that's pretty much a lock. He'll defend that belt at Mania. But there was a part of that conversation that I was happy to finally see, and that's Gunther. Somewhere in the world title picture.
It's about time.
It's about damn time.
I mean, and I heard this on a different podcast over the weekend. Somebody said, when you had that secondary title, either the U.S. title in WCW, NWA, or the Intercontinental title in WWE, that typically meant you were the number one contender for the main title, but we never see it now. Like, back when we were kids, when Randy Savage was the Intercontinental champion.
Whoever was the IC champ.
He was always the number one contender to Hulk Hogan. That was the setup. And we've gotten away from that so far now that, the mid-card title kind of has a life of its own. No, the mid-card champions need to still have something to fight for. Hell, and a talent like Gunther, who's the longest reigning Intercontinental champion of all time, hell yeah, he should be going after the world title by now. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yep. And he even said, he started out, he says, it seems like we've been avoiding each other.
Yeah, but we've been orbiting each other.
No, just the writers.
You're kind of existing over here, and I'm kind of existing over there. No. You guys it's time to bump some heads here.
But I like where he went with it because he told Seth, the workhorse champion that, you did a good job, but unfortunately, you didn't live up to the workhorse. Yeah, and then I'm over here, the real workhorse champion, and I'm like, here we go.
Well, you know what you do with an old horse when his leg gets broken and he can't go no more. I mean, got to take him out back behind that shed out there. And, I guess Gunther was kind of telling Seth, hey, if you can't go no more, maybe it's time for you to go back out to that shed back there, and find out what's what. And Lord knows if Gunther and him get in the ring, the shots it's going to sound like damn rifle shots out there when he starts chopping that chest.
Yeah, Gunther is some of the hardest chops I've ever heard.
Well, that's because he throws a slab of meat. He calls his hand at you. I mean, that's just like taking a big old T-bone steak and just slapping the shit out of you right across the face. I mean, that's what Gunther's doing. He just gets that big old cow paw out there and just slaps and, goes slinging it. Good Lord.
Yep. And then, of course, something else that we kind of see lining up. You got New Day, Imperium. You got Jey Uso somewhere in that mix. I foresee a three-way coming between or just a triple tag match between
six-man.
Trios,
as you would call AEW folks would call it.
But I kind of see that coming down the road between all of them. So that's kind of interesting. I definitely loving the intensity between New Day and Imperium, but like you said, it would be a little bit more sweeter if the belts were involved.
Yeah, so that was my only thing. When you said I love this feud, I'm like, man, I love it too, but I would love it just a little bit more if we had those tag titles. And just because I remember the New Day Usos, matches that they would do when the titles were involved. I mean, they were wrestling on Raw, wrestling on SmackDown, middle of the card.
Yep.
turning the lights out. I mean, they were shutting it down. They were making it hard to follow the rest of the night because they would put on bangers for no apparent reason other than the fact that they could.
Yep. And we got the women's Rumble. I'm going to call my shot right now. I think Bayley's taking it.
Do you?
I do. It's either Bayley or Becky. One of the two.
Wow. So we may get a Jade Cargill sight. You don't think she?
I don't think she'll win it.
We may get a Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné.
Don't think she'll win it either.
Don't think she'll win it.
Bayley or Becky. One of the B's.
Wow.
That's where I'm going.
I didn't expect that. Neither one of those are in my realm of winning those two. But what about Bianca Belair? There's two more B's for you. What about
she
that?
might be a dark horse coming into that.
I can see that. I mean, there's a lot going on in that women's Rumble. It's going to be.
It's going to be a good one. And then on the flip side of that, some SmackDown matches. You got KO, Logan Paul. It's going to happen. KO's got to take that belt. He's got to take that belt.
God, no. Hell no.
You don't think so?
Not at the Rumble. Hell no. They're going to let Logan Paul walk that thing right into WrestleMania.
For the views, for the gram.
Right. That's probably will he be wrestling LA Knight at that point. That would be a good setup for me.
I want to see Knight, Paul. I want to see that.
Just the promos. Yeah. I mean, it's time to put some kind of title on LA Knight. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
And then, same as we just said, it's time for those mid-card champions to actually start contending for the world title. Yep. That would be a good way to keep LA Knight in the conversation without having to pit him against Roman again. You don't want to serve up all your baby faces to Roman forever. You got to get something else going. But that would be a good setup for me. I think they're kind of leaning more towards the AJ LA Knight thing. But I mean, damn, Logan Paul's got to do something.
Yeah.
Get him in there. Get him in there with LA Knight. Let them two do some promoing together.
And then we got the four-way dance for the undisputed WWE Championship.
That's a mess. That's like an 8-way dance, to be honest. You got the 4 guys that are in it.
The 4 guys circling around it.
Right, Rock's hanging around in there. Cody's still talking about trying to get over there. Somewhere. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, even though, especially with Seth on the bench right now, I mean, hell, now all of a sudden all the focus is going to shift over to the main title on SmackDown, and hell.
All I can say.
What a time for that.
All I can say is no matter who comes out of that with carrying the belt, everybody ain't going to be happy. There's going to be somebody.
I think I'm going to be happy because I'm 99.9% sure that big Roman Reigns will be walking out of there with the title and a challenge from The Rock, the new CEO or board member, whatever you want to call him, CEO of USFL, XFL combined.
They just call it the UFL. That's what
UFL. Okay, so CEO of that, chairman or director on the board of TKO now, sitting right next to Ari Emanuel, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Triple H ain't even on that board, but there's The Rock sitting there.
As much as I hate to admit it, though, for the plan that I see coming out of this, that I kind of hope comes out of this, he's got to take the belt. Roman's got to win in order for it to happen. All right.
So before we go any further, are you finally on my side now? Do you finally succumb to the fact that this is going to be the year that we have Rock Roman at WrestleMania? I know you saw the First Take interview this morning with Stephen A. Smith and Shay. I know you saw that. Now, they laid out a pretty good plan there. I'm seeing Solo and Paul Heyman walk Roman down to the ring. I'm seeing Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp walking Rock down to the ring. I see a melee happening between the 4 guys outside of the ring. Man, my God, you want to talk about some damn good TV watching?
So let me give you my answer. You ready for my answer?
All right, I'm ready.
Am I on that?
Are you finally on board? Are you finally convinced?
Hell no.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. So we just give up on you at this point.
I got another way this ends.
We send you to La Greca land and we just give up on you.
I got another way this ends.
Good God.
I got another way this ends. We'll get there.
Lord.
We'll get there.
God bless you.
So let's talk about another one of the bombshells that dropped this morning. Raw is moving from the USA Network beginning January 2025 and going to Netflix.
What?
That's crazy.
What?
First time in over 30 years that Monday Night Raw will be off of linear television.
What?
Craziness.
What?
It doesn't.
Good Lord.
It is something that is.
Raw is a streaming service? What?
It is something unprecedented.
Yeah, I heard a lot of rumors about like Amazon, and I know there was a lot of success with the Chiefs football game on Peacock. So I think that opened a lot of eyes. I think,
yeah,
it was always on the table that Raw may go to a streaming service and may come off of, cable TV. it was, it was a long shot, but I think when that football game happened and they got 23 million viewers to watch, to tune into
30 million.
Peacock, who didn't have Peacock necessarily, all 30 million didn't sign up before because they ain't had 30 million subscribers before that day.
Yep.
So either be it the free trial, be it 1 month, be it whatever the case may be, they got a lot of damn people to sign up for Peacock to watch Monday or to watch football. That wasn't even a Monday night game. That was a weekend game. But I feel like Monday Night Raw can do the same for Netflix. They're going to bring in a lot of people that either may or may not have already walked away from Netflix because, they lost a lot of subscribers over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and if it went for my kids, I'd have been one they lost.
There you go. So I get it free with my cell phone plan, so Netflix will never lose me. But there's a whole bunch of other streaming services that I bounce in and out of, and I'll promo code or I'll do something like that. I may get it in, and then when it runs out, Apple TV on its way out right now. Matter of fact, they gave me a 6-month trial through T-Mobile. Damn, 6 months runs out this weekend, so come this weekend, I won't be an Apple TV subscriber no more. Count that one out.
So let's look at this. I've got a few thoughts on the whole Netflix deal. First and foremost, is it going to still be Monday night?
So I saw an interview from Nick Khan today that said it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be, but it probably will be for now.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no intended plans, but...
Yeah, but he definitely said it didn't have to be. And I mean, that opens up a whole new bag of tricks right there because I'm so accustomed to my Monday night wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. Could you imagine a world where there's no Monday night wrestling?
Even as a football fan, usually the only Monday Night Raw I ever miss is when the Cowboys are playing on Monday Night Football.
God, that's the Raw you should watch the most. Jesus.
I was waiting on
Lord.
that. I was waiting on that.
Hell, you should sign in 30 minutes early for Raw and watch damn NCIS or whatever they show beforehand and then watch Barmageddon afterwards.
But I will say this. It does look like it's going to continue to be live. That was kind of part of the presser that they put out today. Is Netflix ready for that? I don't know. They've done a few things live. A couple things that they've done live bombed.
Yeah.
They had a lot of issues.
Yeah, they ran into some issues in the early ones there.
But they got a year to kind of work on this and get it ready and whatever they're going to do. So that's cool. Second thing I just got to wonder, could this finally be WWE's chance to get a little bit more edgy in their programming? Because Netflix doesn't have to be regulated. I mean, they don't have to be PG. They can be whatever now.
Yeah.
So, when you're on...
I guess my concern is, how's the advertising going to work? Because that's where they make their money from, right?
A lot of people say that it could be ad-free. Could you imagine watching Raw for 3 hours ad-free?
Hell no.
Long.
That's too much
a
Raw.
lot.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's too much damn
cut that
Raw.
back to 2 hours if you ain't going to do no
Remember
ads.
when they had that real long match the other day?
Yes.
And, and they had commercials in it?
Look,
remember, I was like, damn, that was still a little too long for me.
All of us are wrestling fans and we love the product, but damn, we're old too, and we get up early in the morning.
Right, we got a lot of stuff going on the other side. Like, hell, you may be doing something while, and you need that 5-minute commercial break to go get something done real quick. Hell, if you're pinned in front of the TV for 3 damn hours, man, that's 180 minutes straight of wrestling. That's a lot of damn
I
wrestling.
heard somebody else say today too, what is that going to do for channel surfing? Because I can't switch back and forth because I'm on Netflix.
No, that's way too much trouble trying to jump back into one app.
Can't do no picture in picture.
There ain't gonna be none of that.
You can do your iPad on one and your TV on the other. I mean, you could do that.
I guess you could do that, but damn, that's asking a lot to sit there. Now I got 3 devices going. I got, because you're still playing in your phone. So you're screwing around in your phone with one thing, watching Tony Khan tweet his little head off because he's upset. Hell, you're doing that on your phone. He's mad because Raw's got 500 million fucking viewers, so he's pissed off. He's tweeting his little head off over there.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're watching the snowman melt right there, have a legit meltdown right in front of you. So that's happening. Then you're watching let's say football on your TV, and then you got Raw on your app. Good God Almighty! I feel like that's information overload at that point.
All right, now here's where I'm starting to get though a little annoyed by everything that's going on right now, and this ain't even a wrestling issue though. This is just a consumption issue. I gotta pay for YouTube TV to watch my football and to watch SmackDown. I gotta pay,
or you gotta pay Peacock for football.
I gotta pay Peacock.
You might have to pay for 2 services to watch football.
No, that's my point. I gotta pay YouTube TV to watch football and to watch SmackDown. I gotta watch Peacock. Gotta pay for Peacock to watch some football games and all the PLEs, and I gotta pay for Netflix to watch Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
That's That's
getting spread pretty thin.
Look,
huh?
you give me one more service, and I'm gonna have to choose.
Yeah,
I mean,
pick and choose on that. So
look, I got 2 kids. I got to put them in college.
Well, I mean, they want to watch all that stuff too, so you got to keep buying them services. So you just got to bite that bullet and just be mad about it.
Touche. But the whole thing about going to Netflix is definitely interesting. I'm curious to see what happens when their contract with Peacock runs out. Are they going to move the PLEs to Netflix, because Netflix is already going to be the partner for PLEs for shows outside the country. So where's this all going to wind up? How's it all going to happen? Where's the library going? Is it going to stay on Peacock, or is it eventually going to move to Netflix? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts going on in that angle there. So
crazy time.
It'll be real interesting to see. I mean, like you said, we got a year to contemplate it, so I'm sure they'll give us a lot of information month by month, until we get to that point. But yeah, in about a month, some people are going to have to make a lot of different choices that they wasn't anticipating making when they became a wrestling fan like me 40 years ago to the day when, of my inaugural wrestling match, my first wrestling match ever. We're 40 years to the day.
So what you gonna do, brother?
Absolutely. Watching an Iron Sheik take a big leg drop for a big green belt. That looked real weird. A lot of people love the big green belt. I ain't no fan of the big green belt. That ain't on my wish list. But I mean, that's what we saw that day.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about another icon that actually went up against Hulk Hogan at a WrestleMania. Talk about The Rock.
The Rock.
Rock is one of the new board of directors. He's on the board of directors for TKO.
Yep, he's apparently so.
Give it up for The Rock.
There you go. We got to give that man his credit. What I tell you when it happened, I said, first thing I said, is there a job that man won't turn down?
No, that man is he's so ambitious. Good God. Yeah.
I mean, and that's what he talked about on the First Take interview. They just asked, I remember Shannon Sharp told him, he said, he said, for as much as I know you, he said, you may not be the best at anything that you do, but he said, I guarantee nobody will outwork you in any of it.
Nope.
And, by his body of work, you can't really argue with that statement.
And I may have mentioned this before on the podcast, but it's worth mentioning again. Go out there and find the YouTube video of The Rock doing a locker room speech to, I believe it is the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. It's either the Lakers or the Warriors. So he goes into that speech and he's telling everybody about his story, how he was homeless, living in his car, $7 to his name. And what was the pivotal point in his life where it changed who he was is he woke up one day and he said, you know what? There ain't an MFer out here that's going to outwork me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And he said, you know how I keep that mantra? Is I wake up every day with a visual that my back is against the wall.
Yeah.
And I can't go backwards. The only path I've got is forwards. And I got to get myself off this wall and go forwards.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, if that man is not the epitome of the word ambition, I have no idea what it is at that point.
Yeah, well, that's why he was once an Intercontinental Champion. He was damn sure a workhorse.
He was a workhorse.
I mean, you see him in the gym. Like, Rock's 50. Rock's what, 51, I think? Yep. Rock's old, right? Like, he knows spring chicken. He's rich. He's rich as hell. I mean, he's rich beyond rich.
He's
still in the gym working like, as if he's got, like he's trying to make the team or something like that. He's putting in the kind of work that, you would expect out of a rookie. You don't see a lot of guys that are his status that work like he does.
He's got what they call generational wealth.
Yeah.
He has more money than generations can spend.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But to see him elevate himself to being on the board of directors of a company that I don't want to even just say wrestling. I'm just talking about combat sports in general. Yeah. That's his DNA. And that it's cool to see him be there. First off, it's cool to know his story, to see where he came from. It's also cool just to see who he represents.
Yeah.
The culture that he represents.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing to see that. But
the fact that he said today, he said, the fact that I'm sitting at a table that my grandfather and my father literally built.
Yeah.
He's like, the fact that I could sit here and, serve on it. I mean, hell, he's as a board of director, he's the boss of all of that. I mean, he's one of the 7 or 8 bosses that run all of TKO. I mean, that's the company that gave him a break when he literally has $7 to his name, you know, and they took a chance on a kid with a real bad haircut and said, hey, you know, we see something in you.
Yep.
But damn, you know, that was an understatement.
The
like,
blue
hell,
chipper. The blue
they
chipper.
said they saw something in him. Good Lord, that nobody could fathom what was to come. I mean, but had it not been for that break, I mean, this basically he's now able to give all he wants back to the company that gave him one break.
And I will say this, everybody has their mistakes. Everybody has their weaknesses. Everybody has their...
Yeah, that pineapple haircut, that was a mistake. Good Lord almighty. God.
Everybody has their not so great moments. But I will say this about The Rock. I admire who he is as a person, as a human being, as a father, as a businessman. I admire who he is because you don't see people like that every day.
And what he said on First Take, I think was the most, you know, I guess it hit home the hardest, where everybody, you know, in the whole panel that was talking to him just said, you know, the way we see you with the fans. I mean, we've seen it. You know, we've seen him giving trucks to his old friends. You know, somebody that gave him a break. He gave a truck to Harvey Whippleman, who let him sleep on his couch, you know, when he was trying to come up in the business. Random people, you know, you just see him doing these things for people that, you know, and don't have, for whatever reason or another, they don't have, and he gives.
He's still humble.
Yeah, for no apparent reason other than, hey, you helped me one time when I really needed a hand up. You don't know what that meant to me, so I'm going to show you what it meant to me in any way possible. People don't do that anymore. You know, a lot of times you hear about people that are successful who stepped on so-and-so to get to where they are now. And, you know, they pushed down the little man or they did whatever. You know, here you got this guy who almost gives a hand up to anybody who even knew him along the way. I mean, you know, in a successful way. Like, it's not like he sets them up to fail or he gives them something, you know, puts them in charge of like his finances, knowing that's not something they can handle. He says, no, you know, let me give you something that you can build on and make your own thing out of. And I mean, my goodness, you know, there's no better way to call, you know, to label success than what he does.
So I also want to say this real quick about the whole, let's look at this as an overall picture of what's really transpired within the past year. Okay. Vince McMahon, let's not look at anything. By no means am I ignoring anything negative about Vince McMahon.
Well, yeah, but we don't know any of them.
But I just don't want to, I don't want to go through that.
Speculate.
Right. Can't speculate on it, but let's look at Vince McMahon like this. Vince McMahon gave us 40 years of what we see and know as a wrestling fan, right?
Yep.
I mean, even before that, there was still stuff, but I'm talking about it really skyrocketed when he kicked it into fifth gear with WrestleMania and it became just a global force, right? So, going to acknowledge Vince McMahon, but talk about the transition. What do you do as a fan when you see something that you love and you're so passionate about changing hands and you're nervous about where's this going? What is this going to do?
I mean, that was the genesis of this whole podcast when they, you know, when the conversation started with the sale. You know, that was one of our very first episodes is, oh my God, the WWE is going up for sale. What the hell does this mean? I mean, and at that point, we didn't know anything about TKO. We didn't know anything about Endeavor. We didn't, you know, it was up in the air between like Amazon and Disney and probably 5 or 6 different entities. You know, and all that arose out of all this podcast. There were 68 episodes, you know, all arose from, oh my God, what's going to happen next?
What's going to happen?
And, you know, and look at what happened. I mean,
and
look at the roller coaster ride we've been on for this year.
And that's what I was about to say. Within this past year, amidst everything that has happened and now seeing where it is, I feel good as a fan.
Oh, yeah.
I feel great as a fan.
What's our motto here? It's a damn good time to be a wrestling fan. Holy hell. What kind of, you know, power did that go to today? I mean, my God.
Knowing that I've got The Rock on the board of directors, who
the next world heavyweight champion.
We getting there. We getting there. We getting there. Hold on there, Hulk Hogan. Hold on.
Prefacing here. My bad.
But how good does it feel knowing that he's on the board of directors? Yeah, he can get outvoted, but you know his voice carries a lot. Yeah. He carries a lot of weight.
In that, I mean, in combat sports,
Yeah.
You think Ari Emanuel's going to look at The Rock and say, "No, I think your idea is shitty"?
No.
Take a walk. Yeah, right. He wouldn't have put him on the board if he thought that.
Right.
He knew the value of this guy and what he knows how to do, what he's what he's best at. He saw the value of it. He could have picked anybody. I mean, there's a million people he could have chose to say, I need you on my team.
Yep.
But no, he picked The Rock and The Rock's team. He brought them in with the purpose of saying, I know for a fact this is your world. This is what you do. This ain't what I do.
But with The Rock being on the board of directors, Triple H being head of creative,
Basically running WWE.
running WWE, Nick Khan, a great businessman of who he is, the fact that he's made strategic business decisions over the past 2 to 3 years that have been incredible for us fans.
Yeah.
Just,
Stuff that we don't even know about.
right. It feels so good to know, like, okay, the WWE that I know and love is going to continue on for a while.
But do you know what you just said there? And it just struck me as you said it. Everybody that we just, engulf, sans Triple H a little bit, there's no big man in this picture
No,
right
there's
now.
not.
I mean, that's
That's wild, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because everybody
10 years ago,
everybody
you couldn't have
thought-
told me
Yeah.
unless all of them died in some freak accident.
Oh, God, no. Help, no.
Well, that would have been the only way you could have
Don't wanna
convinced
speak
me
that into existence.
we would have a world where the WWE was running without any McMahon in a lead position. That would have been the only possible way I would have been able to fathom it. But now here we are. I mean, we've got former talent. I mean, The Rock and Triple H were competitors. They wrestled each other probably 200 times, and now they're both running the company. What the hell?
Because this easily could have been, for those who are old enough to remember, this easily could have been AOL taking it away from Ted Turner.
Oh, yeah, it definitely could have been.
Easily could have been that.
You don't know. I mean, you take those kind of chances. Ted Turner saw a lot of money, right? He said, hey, I see a lot of money involved with this. Time Warner and Turner, we're going to merge and everybody stands to win in this. And Ted got a lot of money out of it,
Yeah,
right?
he did.
I mean, so he, his pockets got a lot fatter. So he won out of that, but his creation, his baby, it suffered.
Yeah.
Obviously, it suffered. The Time Warner, TNT, all that suffered. And WCW, which he really cultivated from the very beginning when he got his hands in it, died. I mean, it literally died because of that sale. And that had to be something that when Ted looked back at it was like, one of those, spoils of war that he just wasn't expecting. Like, damn, this isn't what I intended to happen, but at that point it happened.
Makes you wonder.
Out of it.
Makes you wonder if he ever looks at that and goes, "Man, I wish I wouldn't."
Well, you know what? Again, when he's swimming in money like Scrooge McDuck used to do. I mean, so he probably don't have time to have any regrets. But I'm sure at some point, when WCW closed its doors and they sold events, you had to know that kind of stuck in his craw a little bit. Like hell, that ain't what I wanted to happen.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the main event.
Well, before we get there, I mean, at least we could give Ted a little bit of respite for the fact that his creation is now living under the guise of AEW because they've literally turned into WCW on the back end right now. They're WCW sans 99, 2000. Yeah, they're right around in that territory right now. So remember way back last year when Roman said they're about in the third inning of this whole bloodline thing. Tony never been out there, and they're at the bottom of the ninth right now. So I mean, shit. If they don't get a home run or something real quick to put this game into overtime, hell, I don't know. I won't say bottom of the ninth. We're in the seventh inning stretch though.
So I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna shut up. I don't know that they need a home run. They need multiple home runs.
Shit. Are they down that far?
They are down. They're down that far, and the only reason why I look at it this way is because at the core of wrestling, at the end of the day, you can put on your 5-star matches. You can put on Okada versus Danielson.
Yeah.
You can put on Omega versus Ospreay.
Well, they can't right now. But
But you can do that stuff all day long.
Yeah, but if there's no story,
If there's no story
There's no
behind
interest.
it, there's no interest in it. I will watch it for the match, but then once that match
well,
is
that's
gone, I'm
AEW's
done.
thing right now. People watch the match.
Yeah.
So, when Tony goes all nuts about, oh my God, the ratings were super high. The ratings were super high for one match.
Yeah.
They tuned out for them other 2 hours, though, like, an hour and a half of it, nobody watched. But they watch for that match, and then they don't come back the next week because you can't run you can't run a dream match every damn week. It just don't happen. So
Picture
you
this.
don't get people to say, hey, what I saw last week, I can't wait to see what they build upon. They know that build upon. It's a wrap.
Picture this. Random Wednesday night. They start the show, the fireworks happen, random Wednesday night.
Sounds like WCW Nitro to me, but keep on going.
The lights go dark.
All right, sounds like Sting.
Next thing you know, this is what you hear.
New world.
Here comes the money.
Oh, God.
Money.
So now, remember I predicted that on our prediction show at the
Shade.
start of the year, and the end of last year, whenever we
Yep.
did that, was McMahon needs to go to AEW.
Yep.
Well, hell, we got 3 of them that ain't really doing nothing right now that all love wrestling. That would be that's the multiple home runs. If they
Yeah.
could get Stephanie, Shane, and Vince to cross on over just
The
for a
whole
little
McMahon
bit.
crew.
That's your multiple home runs that'll get us to say, oh my God, we got to watch this. But that ain't happening. So unfortunately, I don't know.
Them jokers got enough money where they don't care about that.
Absolutely not. They're swimming in. They're swimming with Ted right now. So yeah, they ain't sweating for no money. So
All right, so now let's talk about the main event. Rock on the board of directors. What
The
does
boss.
What does this mean for the WWE?
well, that means he's probably got a little bit of say in creative, huh?
I'd say he's got some stroke.
If he wanders on down to old Stamford, Connecticut, and stops in the WWE head offices and says, "Hey, you know what I was thinking? I'm pretty sure everybody in the building's going to start listening."
Yep.
So at that point in time, there ain't going to be we were thinking about going another way. We gotta run that by the board.
So this is where it bleeds into what is most important for them to do. Is it
So I asked you this question earlier this week, and it's kind of it's still the topic of it, even though with all these other parameters that have been added into it.
Yep.
Still, I feel like it's the most important
It
question.
is the most important question. Is it more important for Cody to finish his story, or is it more important for Rock and Roman to battle it out for an epic main event that probably we haven't seen as big as Hogan Andre?
Rock said it today on First Take. He specifically said, if we have the right story, if we get the right build for it, he said it could potentially be the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. And he didn't misspeak. He didn't understate that at all. That is the truth. It has the potential to be as big, if not bigger, than Hogan Andre.
So let me paint you this story. You are not going to like it, but let me paint you.
How much time we got left?
We got a little bit.
hell.
We got a few
Here we
here,
go.
but let me paint you this story.
This is some kind of American dream that you've dreamed up to find a way to get an American nightmare into a main event. Oh, God.
no.
All right, look, Greca, give me what you got.
Cody Rock happens at Mania this year.
Ugh.
Cody Rock happens at Mania this year.
Cody Rock.
Or excuse me, Cody Roman happens at Mania this year.
Ugh.
Cody wins.
Ugh.
As Roman repeats the scene of Cody from last year, sitting in the middle of the ring, wondering what the hell happened.
Ugh.
And as Cody walks out with the belt, it leaves Roman sitting in the ring, and The Rock's music hits. The Rock walks down to the ring, picks the Ulafala up, takes it, and says, "This is no longer yours. You are no longer the head of the table," and walks away. And what this does, this gives them a full year to build to WrestleMania 41 and for The Rock to accomplish what he said in that Stephen A. interview. He said he plays the long game. It gives them, do we know where 41 is being held? I don't think we do.
If we do, I don't know off the top of my head right now.
I don't think we do, but what I think The Rock may be after of doing something like he said he wants to do, something that's never been done before. He may be after the highest grossing ticket amount in any venue in the world. He may be after a record.
They break that every year at WrestleMania, don't
But
they?
no.
Just from the prices.
I mean, I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about just butts and seats. How many people enter that door?
Oh hell, I don't think they can break that, can they?
I don't know, but this is just, I don't know where the location is where they could do it. I mean, we know right now that Jerry's World is over 100,000, right?
So no, right? That's the problem that we ran into. So we did two WrestleManias in Dallas, and
but none of them cracked 100,000, right?
Well, the first one they did, but the way WWE measures attendance, they go by every human being in the building, right?
Okay.
So when they did WrestleMania there at 32, they said it was over 100,000 people.
But they also
when
said
Tony and them ran Wembley, they said, well, as far as tickets sold, they sold like 71 or something like that.
Okay, but even when they do that, even when they do those records, they call it an indoor attendance record, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're wound up calling it. What I think he may be after is having a full year, A, to build this up between him and Roman. B, gives him a full year, even though the man looks like $1 million, it gives him a full year to get in ring shape. Because we know from what we saw against what he did with Jinder, he is not in ring shape.
No, but he's got a couple months to get there. So
even at a couple months, I don't think he'll get to where he wants to be.
True. Now, so I see the path that you're going down. The only thing that I caution, and I'm a little bit older than you, so I can tell you, is Rock's going to be another year older.
He's 51. He's 51 right now.
Yeah. So saying
Minoru Suzuki is 55.
Who?
Minoru Suzuki from New Japan, out there mixing it up with Bryan Danielson and Moxley at 55 years old.
I remember that. Did you see his matches out there? Remember how many times I messaged you and I said these matches are the crappiest thing on TV
Do you think the Rock match is going to be something magical? It's not.
You think the Rock's going to go out there and do it if it's not?
I don't think he's going to lay an egg, but what I do think that he is after something that hasn't been done before, and I don't think there's enough time at 40 to get it done. I think it'll be 41.
Well, here's what I can tell you. If he waits another year and then he goes out there and has a match like Minoru Suzuki was having, he will do something that's never been done. He'll go out there and have the shittiest WrestleMania match known to man, because good God almighty. I had to remember. So, yeah, Suzuki with the wrinkles in his head and all that. Yeah, I'm caught up now. The matches were the slowest, drawn out. I mean, hell, they would stand there and do them damn Japanese chops that I hate more than life itself. And even those were slow. I mean, God, no. So what you just said right now should tell The Rock, if he was ever going to do it, he better do it now. hell no, he should have did it at 39.
He should have did it at 39.
Now we're starting to get at a point where you've made me start thinking, if he's going to go out there and look like Minoru Suzuki did, I don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
Hell no, I don't want to see it. I'd rather see a backstage promo and Rock pass out or something like that than have a Triple H thing where he can't never wrestle
and
again.
Then there's
hell.
And then there's the whole belief, was The Rock really even talking about a match with Roman when he said that? Or was he talking about this?
So he's not the head of this table, right? He just sits on it. Ari Emanuel's still the big boss.
He's still the big boss.
And Rock conceded, he conceded to that. He said, Ari used to be my agent. He brought me on. Yeah. So, Rock knows he's a small fish in a hell of a big pond right now. He's got to get to that level. But he said on the first take today, I don't know if you caught it, but every time he referred to him and Roman even possibly tangling in a ring, he only said WrestleMania. So I think y'all could put that damn
the elimination chamber thing.
Y'all put that out of your brains. That backlash shit that I was hearing about. Y'all put that out of your brain. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna be at a WrestleMania. And I've said all along, if it was gonna happen, it'd be at a WrestleMania, because Rock ain't gonna perform at a half-ass show.
It can still be at Mania this year. It can still be at Mania, and it can
has to be this year,
and it can be the main event.
If Rock looks like Suzuki, God hell.
But honestly, tell me, Frank. Honestly, tell me.
Nervous now.
Tell me honestly, does it have to be for the belt?
Yes. At this point, it does.
No.
So you're not looking at it fourth dimensionally, as they would say.
Show me, oh wise what.
What the hell is the purpose of The Rock trying to dethrone the tribal chief if the tribal chief already got dethroned by God knows who at Royal Rumble? You don't want somebody the caliber of The Rock doesn't come out of 10-year retirement to wrestle a dude who just lost. I mean, there's zero momentum in the bloodline.
So is The Rock going to job out to Roman at Mania then?
Of course, he's going to pass the torch.
I don't want to see him do that.
What wrestler doesn't go out on it? What wrestler doesn't die on his sword?
Dude, he's already passed it to Roman, though. He come out there and raised his hand.
That was at a Royal Rumble that he won that Rock just happened to be attending. And that was damn 10 years ago. Only me and you and a couple other listeners remember that shit. The common fan right now that's watching, you don't remember
that never happened.
Hell no.
So it's like WWE just rewriting history.
Vince used to say that all the time. Hell, the fans believe what we tell them to believe.
That's right.
We can go show that clip. So hell, we're gonna show them two doing Hobbs and Shaw together on the movie scene. We're gonna show that shit when we accidentally had them two together and both of them got booed out of the damn building.
Stadium.
Yeah, hell yeah, we ain't showing that no more. Hell, we'll never show that again. Hell, that never happened. That's a figment of your imagination, sir.
All right, everybody. So you can still, we ain't backing down. Neither one of us are backing down from
hell no. Next week's show is coming post Royal Rumble. So good Lord, backing down. Hell, them engines are gonna be all fired up next week.
Dude, and
you think we've been charged up today? Good God.
And
next week's gonna be an explosion.
All right, everybody. So we're going to wrap this up today. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast. We appreciate you. Drop us a message on our social boards. Let us know what you're thinking. Get ready for the Rumble. Whatever you do, watch this event. It is going to be something magical. I can tell you. I can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Feel it in my bones.
This is going to be a hell of an event. There's going to be a lot of stuff to come out of this event. You know, we got CM Punk coming at the end of Survivor Series. I'm pretty damn confident when the credits roll at the Royal Rumble that we're going to have something a whole lot of people are going to be talking about.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And with that, we bid you adieu.
If you smell.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.